Up next on Fantasia the Talk Show, we have the people behind American Fighter, which is having its world premiere at the festival. I have Shaun Piccinino and Sean Flanery. Welcome to the show. I'm super pumped to talk to you guys. What I want to know, this is a follow-up. It's not necessarily a sequel to American Wrestler. How did this film come to life?
Well, yeah, it lives in the same world, but it's not necessarily a sequel to it. But this film is based on a time, it takes place in 1981, and it deals with, this immigrant coming over and wrestling in college, and he's got a lot of different family dynamic that's going on with his mom getting cancer, and he wants to try and get her over to have, Western medicine to help with that, and the struggles he goes through with trying to make that happen.
And I mean, at what point does the fighting, he is a wrestler, but the fighting part kind of becomes dominating the story? That's, I think, what people are super pumped about. Can you talk a bit about bringing that to the screen?
Yeah, well, it has to do with the time itself and the struggles of trying to actually get his family over here to get that help, and he's kind of boxed into a corner. He can't seem to get her over here, so he has to figure out a way, and in kind of a desperation, he ends up his college roommate takes him to underground fighting, where he can make some cash in a very kind of quick way, and with his wrestling prowess and his determination, and with some training from his guru, he's able to hopefully accomplish that goal.
A lot of people don't know that some of the best wrestlers in the world come from Iran. If you watch the Olympics, they have a very unique signature attack system, just like the Russians. You can almost look at a silhouette of a Russian wrestling and say, that's a Russian wrestler. Same thing with Iran, same thing with Americans. And he came over here and there was something that he was a little prodigy at. And he found that and he got an offer to showcase his skills in a way to earn money. And he kind of got pulled into it, unwillingly, and found a way to support himself. And then started to hone it and finesse it and become incredibly good at executing.
And I mean, when you guys are approaching fight choreography and the wrestling as well, if you're taking inspiration from fighters from Iran, are you integrating that into the stunts and integrating that into the, I would say the personality of the actual fighting?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's a unique system, and he's a ground-based system of fighting. Some guys come into the fight world, they're strikers. They punch, they kick. Some guys come in as grapplers, and that's what he did. So we showcase that specifically, and we built on that platform. That's not too unlike a regular MMA fighter.
Yeah, I mean, because you have a jiu-jitsu background as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain for me, I'm a bit ignorant, what the difference between Brazilian jiu-jitsu would be and something wrestling from Iran, for example?
Well, both of them fall under the heading of grappling.
Yeah.
Meaning they're two people trying to get the other person to do something against their will with grabbing. No strikes are allowed. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the fight ends whenever I make my opponent submit, either verbally or physically. When he says, okay, I can no longer take that, it's painful, or you're choking me unconscious, please stop.
Yeah.
In wrestling, you win by points. So if I can force him into a specific position, I win. Now, both of those incorporate something called positional dominance. If I could exhibit positional dominance over him, then really it's quite easy for me to implement strikes. So if your base is in personal control, it's kind of easy to layer that with something that's pretty lethal. And it was easy to do that with George.
And we had a lot of different fight styles come into this. This takes place again in the early '80s, so MMA didn't necessarily exist then.
Yeah.
But there was underground fighting. There was pit fighting. There was kumite. And so we kind of tried to show a mix of different fighting styles. And with the character of Ali, he had the wrestling base and was using that to his advantage to win some of his early fights. But it's not until he trains with his, master, so to speak, who starts implementing the jiu-jitsu and more of the striking on the ground and these elements that help elevate his game to accomplish his ultimate goal. But we had Muay Thai in there. We had, just street, fighters, boxers, really kind of, painting the world of what was happening back then. And grappling was not predominant back then. So someone who had a strength in grappling really, I feel, would have a big advantage, just like at the beginning of MMA with the UFCs and all of that. You had the BJJ, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, just dominating the strikers because they didn't know what to do on the ground. So once you got somebody on the ground, they could, the strikers, the boxers, they had no skill set to counter what was happening to them.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things too with the franchise in general are the bare knuckle fighting. And as people who are doing stunts and the safety of people, like, are there any particular challenges that are kind of accompanied with that kind of fighting style?
Well, I mean, you always have the challenges with stunt fighters, stunt actors, and real, the regular actors, and incorporating those scenes.
Which is not me. I'm not regular. Talking about the regular one.
What was really nice about having Sean Patrick in this is he really is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master, instructor, owns his own schools. So we had the early conversations where I was like, I just want you to really teach him. We will film you really teaching him these techniques. And it was so great because for all those teaching stuff, it's him. There's no, I mean, there's choreography in some of it, but a lot of it is just him really teaching George Costoros, our actor who plays Ali. And we have a fantastic stunt team. These guys are all like the best of the best, especially in the fight game. I myself come from a stunt coordination background as well. So and with Noel Vega, who's the stunt coordinator, all these people we work together on regular basis. So we've done a lot of action stuff from movies, TV to video games.
Which what you said was incredibly weird for me just now because he called me Sean Patrick. The only time I've ever been called that is by my mom and dad.
Sean Patrick!
And he followed it up with a compliment, so I'm conflicted right now. So if I'm looking confused, it's because he went Sean Patrick, and then he paid me a compliment. I'm like, kind of short-circuiting.
I'll just call him SPF.
Yeah, SPF too. My mom and dad, when they would go, Sean Patrick, I was like, oh, man.
I mean, we could rewire you here, right?
Yeah.
I think I just had a little
reprogram your
therapy
brain.
session, really. That was like regressive therapy, wasn't it?
Well, we are on a couch.
Yeah.
What I would love to know is, like, American Fighter, who is the audience for it, and what do you hope people take away from it?
You know what, when you wrap a story like this, you think it's a story about fighting. At its core, it's a story about a human and a human struggle and overcoming something that I think is incredibly universal. It's surrounded in the fight world. It's surrounded in something very real, something that guys are faced with every single day. At every point in a boy's life, there's going to become a fork in the road where you either stand up or you get your will bent. And if that happens repeatedly enough, that will gets broken. And I think that's a story about the character of Ali. It comes up through society and it gets tested a couple of times. And you either fold up shop, you fall into the fetal position, or you stand up and you rise to the occasion. Although it takes place in the fight world, I wouldn't say specifically it's a film about fighting. It's about life, it's about love, it's about struggle, it's about overcoming.
It's about definitely about overcoming the ultimate odds and the value of family.
That's fantastic. Thank you guys so much for being on the program. It's been amazing. American Fighter world premiere at Fantasia. Everyone's really excited.
And we're going to be there answering questions.
Yes.
Awesome. That is American Fighter world premiere at Fantasia International Film Festival. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos. Thank you so much.
I loved it. I'm super excited about this film. It started off well. I thought we did some pretty special stuff on the day, and then to see it assembled in a way that's cohesive and passionate, and to see it on a big screen like this, it's exciting.
It's a fun event. I'm really happy that we got to come out here and experience it. Everybody's so nice and so warm and inviting, and I think they understand filmmaking here and the process that goes into it. So anytime that you have an event where people are so supportive like that, it just makes it easy. And the audience is appreciates. You can tell it's people that appreciate film and are fans of film. So it's just an overall great experience. Get to see people's reactions, what jokes they laugh at. It's always such a special experience.